some tips on how to stand out. I've already made a lot of these mistakes, and I'm continue to make them. Our biggest thing is I'm really big on just listening to our guests. If they don't tell us, we want to ask. So we have a very thorough routine of just listening to hosts, listening to guests, listening to the market, reading reports, whatever people or things or the market is saying, I want to hear so we can adapt. And not only adapt, but try to stay ahead of it and stand out. So experience, yes. Nice to have a good experience. A good experience, I think it starts everywhere. This is an experience industry. They're even starting to, I don't know if you guys have been on Airbnb, but they've even started to add an experience tab. So that way you can go and do and partner in experiences with your travel. That's a big thing now. Technology is huge. Technology and the ways that you use technology is a lot of what's separating some of the new hosts like myself a few years ago or 5 years ago, and some of the different management companies across the country or across the world. Everybody's got their own flavor of what type of technology, but the different levels of technology will separate it. Then what I believe is the most important is consistency. And so consistency is really, whether that is building a brand or building your property, that becomes a brand because you're trying to get loyal guests to come back. So the consistency is what you're looking for. Where I failed or had a mistake of just perception of uniformity is not necessarily what you're going for. The hotels already do that. So if you go stay at a Chase Park Plaza, or there's lots of nice hotels, Ritz, you might like have each room look the same, right? Or in a different one, or a Marriott or whatever, you're going to get a lot of that cookie cutter same feeling. It's nice, but it's just the same. In the vacation rental industry, that's not necessarily what people are looking for. They love the character. They like when Colorado Springs, there's antlers on the walls, or like it's mixed up. So you don't want to be in Colorado Springs and trying to design a St. Louis city home. And you want to make sure that you're kind of having a little bit of different design, but consistency in the level of your experience is different. Consistency in the tea kettles being everywhere, right? Every AC works. Whatever that consistency in the experience is, that's what people are looking for. And then again, to get that is brand loyalty. So the brand loyalty is there's lots and lots of companies around there that jump out to me, but to build that brand, again, it's a little bit harder, more challenging path for your property. It may take a little bit more to invest into some of those things, buy a couple extra amenities that I wouldn't have thought somebody would want in that property, or that maybe I wouldn't have needed or wanted. And then I had kids, and then I realized, okay, pack and play is kind of important to have. We got a whole story on that I won't go into, but I think some of it might be in some of the videos. But this is just a quick video example to mix it up. We do a lot of, thanks to Patrick in the back, we do a lot of videos where I'm really passionate about teaching people around my mistakes and helping other hosts, new hosts, existing hosts, or whoever that is. And so we'll make videos just kind of teaching things to learn from some of those. So this is a video on what has now been a very important thing in the industry, which is home automation. One of the really important parts in vacation rental industry right now is to have home automation. That's going to help you stand out. The biggest thing is the safety of the guest. And a lot of the vacation rentals that you stay in across the country, there's typically, and we started this way, there's a box that you'll fumble through, and that code is a code that unfortunately it's going to be recycled and used over and over again. So the key thing with good home automation is to have a system that will automatically generate a code for that specific guest. If you heard that, that was actually an automatically locking, which is also great for safety as well. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to show you, we're going to type in the code, we're going to walk in. Again, pre-generated code for every single guest that stays. You type in the code, unlocks the door, and we're heading in. The company recently, well, we tend a lot of it's called the VRMA, Vacation Rental Management Association. The last one was in Vegas, the one prior to that was in Miami, and then the one we're going to this year is in New Orleans. They do a lot of them, but the international ones are the really, really good ones to go to. It's about 1,800 host members, management companies that go. Last year, it's growing. Then there's 4,000 of those type of vendors, whether it's the bedding, the linens, or whatever. So we've spent years vetting, so that way we can help hosts, because it took a long time to try to find the right ones. If you go try to search home automation online, you're going to get blasted, right? So with marketing or spam or all of that. So I try to make it easier because we've already trialed and tested and gotten rid of and found new ones. And the home automation with Point Central is incredible, and the experience that it does for guests, and also what it can do for host. The thermostats, the smart thermostats, there's a lot of good stuff. And it provides the security instead of a guest, as it mentioned, having that same code. As a host, that gives security, and then also as a guest, it makes it stand out when you don't have to go fumble through it. We used to get calls years ago, like a flashlight. We had to get better lighting because I couldn't see the lack. Like, oh man, there's got to be a better way. So that's how we came across it. Matterport. Any of you guys use Matterport now or know of Matterport? You do? You guys use it at all for the?
I haven't used it, but I've heard of it.
Okay, so I'll give you just kind of a quick glimpse of it. Matterport is a 3D technology. It's not new. It's been used by realtors for a long time, but it's a lot more. It is definitely being a lot more used today than it was before. And so, especially in the vacation rental industry. For a home, you can sell a home with pictures, but you think about it when you're traveling, and you're traveling to whether that's another country or another city, another state. It used to be where just having 25 pictures was the standard, right? And you would look at an Airbnb or VRBO or a home, and you get 5 pictures to choose from. And that's not very comfortable if you're going with your kids, or your family or anyone, even alone. So it's nice to have a 3D tour because it takes it to another level, and somebody can, if they put the glasses on, they could just nod their head and walk through the whole home like they're there. Or you can do it from just tapping. And so it's a really, really cool technology for that. And what you see here, I just took a quick screenshot because I didn't know, for sake of time, if I'd be able to give you guys a tour through it. But all of that is on our site. If you go to virtual tour, you can look at any one of our properties and you can see what it looks like if you wanted to. I thought this was cool. VRM Intel. Amy is phenomenal. She has really, really just been kind of like the leader in writing and teaching and providing a lot of the stats and case studies and stuff that we get for the entire industry. So the VRM Intel, Vacation Rental Management Intel, a study by Google found that business listings with a virtual tour generated twice as much interest online, plus over half of respondents, 67%, say they want more businesses to use this marketing channel. So it's becoming a big thing. VRBO or Verbo now. Verbo is a channel we'll get into that has even gotten it to where it is being integrated into the software because it's that important. So here's just kind of a quick, like a 14-second video that I just downloaded to show a little bit, without touring the whole thing, of what you're able to do. So you can be seeing it by floor level. You can take measurements if you want. There's a lot of cool stuff. So as a guest, it's a lot easier to be able to pick that home because you can walk through the whole thing and then you know what you're going to get. I think Matterport has even set it up now where for commercial building, if you did a Matterport in here, then when you're on Google and you're going through Google Maps and you can take tours that way. I look at properties all the time that way. You can walk right inside and then tour the whole building. Museums do it. St. Louis Museum has done it, and they've even stepped it up recently, which I thought was really smart. So if it's you're buying something there, then you can put what's called a tag or matter tag. That could be on an amenity or it could be on a motorcycle that you're buying. and you can walk around the whole thing, see it, and then you can tap on it and buy it, send it to checkout. So that's the future of where a lot of things are going, and so I thought that was really cool. And then this link here is kind of what it looks like. That's the actual URL. And we can obviously send this stuff out. For sake of time, I don't think we'll have time to tour through it.